Hi, welcome to this Effortless Sales Masterclass. I just want to make sure that I'm live, and if you're watching this in a replay or if you're watching this live, just comment so that I know. Okay, we are set. We are live in the group. Effortless Sales Masterclass. This is happening and it's starting right now. Okay, say hi if you're live, and even if you're watching the replay, just put #replay. I want to announce one thing before we get into this Effortless Sales Masterclass, and that is we are doing a giveaway. We are going all official. Okay, so we are doing a giveaway. I'm going to choose two people for, like, there are two prizes, two giveaways happening. It doesn't matter whether you're watching this live or if you're watching this as a replay, you can still get and you can still join the giveaway. Okay, so the first prize is going to be a $100 credit towards any one of my programs, and the second prize is going to be $50 credit towards any one of my programs, even if it's TCA. So both of these are available for the Clients Accelerator, my biggest program yet so far, and you can credit this towards TCA as well. So all you have to do to get inside this giveaway is to just take a photo of you watching this training, put the biggest takeaway that you got from this training, write that down in your stories, and then tag me so that I know that you entered inside this giveaway. Otherwise I wouldn't know that you did that. Once you tag me, that is enough to be entered inside the giveaway, and then I would choose two people and I would be posting that in the Facebook group after tomorrow's training. Okay, so if you do this for both days, you get two entries, and then we'll shuffle through that and you'll be entered inside the giveaway. Okay, even if you're watching the replay, you can still do that. And I also want to tell you that this is so, like, when I created this masterclass, this is so good. Seriously, this has blown my mind, and I want to tell you that there are going to be things when you watch this and you would be like, this either triggers me, or this is heightening me, this is giving me chills, or this is giving me aha moments. So many of those things are going to happen inside this training, and if that happens to you, you can take a full video of that. Even just one sentence is going to give you this kind of aha moment or anything, and if that happens to you, take a video of that whole sentence, or just quote it on your biggest takeaway and then add that to your stories and then tag me. I want you to do this so that I know that this training has been so helpful to you, because this is next level thing. Okay, so effortless sales, we are diving deep into this, right? How do you have effortless sales? How do you have effortless sales? And I've discussed this a little bit inside a training, inside a live training that I did a few days ago. Have you ever wondered, like, there is someone who is watching, who is doing something, you're watching this person, that person hasn't even warmed up their audience, you haven't seen that person talking about an offer, but this person is just announcing an offer and people are just grabbing it right away, and there is some other person, or maybe you, that isn't happening to you. Like, you might just keep talking about your offer again and again, but it just doesn't happen. The sales don't come in. What is the difference? Why is this happening? How is this happening? Why is it that, and you might have the same audience as well, but they love that person more? What is the problem? Like, why aren't people responding to you? Why aren't people buying from you? And I might just give you a even more better example, and that would be, you might have a competitor, you both have the same offer, you both have the same experience, the same number of audience, the same number of followers, and one might be selling a lot, other might be selling none, or not up to the point that he or she wants to. What is happening? Why is this happening? What is the difference? The difference is that the person who is making effortless sales has built a foundation. And I want to tell you this, that foundation means, I think I have one comment over here. Let me just check. Okay. Oh, I really don't know how to use Facebook, so I'm just checking. In-demand brand. Yes, Sophie, very good. Yeah, that is what I'm going to tell you. But the reason is effortless sales happen with a foundation. The person who is making effortless sales, it happens with a foundation. And when I say foundation, I want to change this term in the industry and how this term is perceived in this industry, because effortless, like when you say foundation, people just perceive it as this is basic, I am so far ahead, I want advanced stuff. When you say foundation, people just literally just say no to it. People say I don't even want to listen to this. Foundation does not mean basic. Foundation just means that you are building upon that you cannot skip this step, that you have this foundation set. It's a solid foundation. When you've done this, you cannot skip this step. If you are moving ahead, it's going to break. It will bring you back to that point, and you'll have to start all over again until the foundation is set, until the foundation is solid, strong. After that, you can build upon that. Foundation does not mean basic. Foundation just means that you cannot skip this step. You need to do this first. Okay? So when I say that you need to build foundation, and we are going to talk about the 3 main pieces of this foundation that helps you make effortless sales. And one of those is in-demand brand, as Sophie said over here. And I have been talking about a lot lately on my Instagram posts. In-demand brand is the first thing towards that. But I want to change this in our industry. Foundation does not mean basic stuff that if it's foundational, I might already know about it. I don't even want to hear about it. Foundation does not mean that, okay? So yes, we are talking about foundational steps today, but these are the steps that are not a short-term thing. All of these are foundational, but you will be doing these for long-term strategy, and I will be talking about that why. But the first piece is in-demand brand. And we discussed this, why someone who is just putting out an offer and people are just grabbing it and they are sold out in a few minutes, and why someone has been talking about an offer for days and that offer doesn't sell. The biggest piece is they have an in-demand brand. And you cannot reverse engineer this. You cannot reverse engineer this, because the example that I shared with you, there's one person who has literally every single thing, like 2 competitors. One person has the same offer, the same messaging for the offer, the same audience, number of audience, and they might have the same experience as well. But one is selling a lot, the other is not. You cannot find this from the outside. Why it isn't happening, you cannot find it from the outside. It cannot be reverse engineered. That's why you are unable to figure out why they are making sales by doing the same things that you are doing as well, and you're not making that amount of sales as that person. This is also one of the reasons why you might have seen those long sales pages, right? Have you seen those in mine? Like, I don't even have sales pages. When someone asks me for a link, I just put it out there. I just send them to a checkout page. No one ever has come back to me saying, why is this a checkout page? I want to listen more about the offer, or I want a sales page. I want to read a sales page. No one. Why? Because sales pages are there, huge long sales pages. It's like never ending sales page. You just keep scrolling until you find the price, right? That kind of a sales page, a huge long sales page, is there to build trust factor. Because you have to do that, you have to convince them, you have to give evidence that I am the authority, that I have the knowledge that you need. I have done something that would be helpful to you. You have to convince them. In order to convince them, you have to do that long form sales page. And that is why, I don't know if you've ever bought from just reading a sales page, but there are so many people who, and you might have seen that on ads, right? When you do Facebook ads, Facebook or Instagram ads, they have to create a sales page because those are the people who don't even know you. You are attracting people who are finding you for the first time and you are selling to them directly. You have to create a long form sales page so that they can see whether or not you have the ability to give them the value that they are looking out for over here. You have to prove that I am an authority, that I know this stuff. You don't have to do that when you have an in-demand brand. When you are selling to your own audience, when you have an in-demand brand, when people already know, like, and trust you, when people already know that you are an authority and they trust that you, like, they don't even need to see the social proof on your sales page. Like, they don't need sales page at all. That is an in-demand brand. When you do have an in-demand brand, you just sell without needing to give them a sales page. This is the reason why I don't have sales pages. And a few times when I do write a few information about my offer, it's just that this is what's included, this is what you would get, and then like it's like a 8 points maximum, 8 or 10 points maximum, that this is what you would get, and that's it. There's no social proof over there. There's nothing else about the information of the offer, and there's just the button direct to the checkout page. Why? And I've never had someone who asks me, can I get a sales page? I just send them directly to the checkout page. The reason is that you need to have an in-demand brand where people actually know, like, and trust you. And I will give you one more example. I follow so many people on emails, and I'm giving you example about emails because this is the hardest place to build authority in. That's why I'm giving you this example. They are like, emails are the best, but on emails, like if you compare emails to Instagram, you have so many places on Instagram to build your authority. You can show your face, you have video, you have text, you can show up on stories and it only stays there for 24 hours. You can post on feed post and it stays there for a longer time. You have highlights, you have so many places. You can use social proof, highlight, and that is there. Like, there are so many places where people can find you today and be sold on you right now. But that doesn't happen on emails. Emails is like one-time thing. And if someone can actually build authority on emails, they can build in-demand brand on emails, they have nailed everything and every single thing. And that is why I'm giving you this example. I follow so many people on emails. I follow them legit. I'm like, I love you so, so much. I'll just buy every single thing that you provide, that you create. I love them so much because they are the best. I don't follow them for the short-term gain because they sent me a freebie or they send me valuable information here and now, again and again, like they send me information. I don't follow them for the short-term gain. I follow them for their long-term wisdom. I'm sold on to them because I see them as a brand. Because I know that there's no one else when it comes to this topic. There's a difference when people just follow you for the information and when they follow you because they know that you are the best, that you are an expert, that they know you are the one. There's a huge difference in this. I'll say this again. There's a huge difference when people just follow you for the information and when they follow you because they know you are the best. And you don't need hundreds of thousands of followers to do this, to build an in-demand brand. You don't need 5, 6, 10 years of experience for this. You just gotta know how to build this, how to build an in-demand brand. It's not that people are going to see you as the go-to person. It's that you are going to see you as the go-to person first. And then others come in. You start showing up as one because you believe that you are that go-to person, not because you're pretending to be that person. And then people start to follow. And then they start to see you. And then they start to believe in you. And then they start to see you as an authority in that topic. And then they start calling you as the expert in that, recognizing you as an expert in that. They start telling their friends that you should follow this person. They start telling their friends that you should buy that offer of hers. That is amazing. They become your brand ambassadors. This is effortless sales. They become your brand ambassadors. They are selling for you. You don't have to sell. This is effortless sales. And it all starts with an in-demand brand. And it's a consistent thing. You don't just do it once. You don't just do it today and it's done. Even though it's a foundational step, and all of the 3 things that we are going to talk about today are foundational steps, but all of these 3 are consistent things. So you don't just do these just once and you are done. You keep doing it. You keep working on it. And I'll give you another example. What people are teaching you is not working for you right now because they are teaching you short-term strategies, like the strategies that give you short-term gains. For example, you might have heard this, right? Create a freebie. You know how to create a freebie, right? It's so simple. You get a lot of people inside your emails, or create free value. Yes, you get a lot of people to follow you with that free value. And this is the reason why this is a strategy to attract people. But no one's talking about the long-term nourishment, how to do that. The thing that actually builds your brand. This is the reason why you don't struggle with building a following, but you do struggle with making sales because you are focusing on the short-term gain strategies. Is this making sense? This is why not all of the people in your audience is actually like engaging with your stuff. And it's not actually possible because of the algorithm, but you can have a very high percentage of people even if they are not engaging. And I would tell you that the people who are complete lurkers are actually very, very high ticket buyers. That's why they lurk, okay? Remember this, or just write it down for your reminder, but this will help you a lot. But what I want to tell you is that it is possible to have a very high very high percentage of people buying from you, from your following or from your audience, when you know how to build an in-demand brand, when you are actually focused on the long-term strategy. This also means because when you are like the example that we are talking about over here is that you know how to create a freebie and you know how to create free value. All of this work for a short-term gain because these are attraction strategies. But are you nurturing them? That is a long-term strategy. This also means that people you are attracting are just for the information. People are there for the information because you got them in with a bait. Here's a freebie. They're just for the bait. And then they get out. But with an in-demand brand, this won't happen. They are there for the long term. They know you are the best. They know you are the go-to expert. They are not there just for the information. Yes, they do get the information as well, but they are here for you. You bring value by just being you. Even just showing your face without putting any caption and posting it on your stories, that will bring value when you have an in-demand brand. So I want you to put it in the chat how many of you follow someone who you think is in demand and you're just there for the long-term gain with them. And you can put their username in the chat below if you want to. But I'm asking this because you might be following a lot of people just for the information yourself. You might be following a lot of people just for the information itself, and you've never thought of working with them. That is because they don't have an in-demand brand. That is because they don't have authority. Do you see the impact of what we are talking about over here? People sell for you. People become your brand ambassadors. People are there for the long-term gain and not there just because you're giving information. They're not there for the information. You see the example that I told you, I follow so many people who are on email and I just follow them for them. I don't follow them for the information that they are giving me, and if they stop giving the information, I wouldn't stop following them. And that there is one of the persons who I follow, who I used to follow for the information. It starts from there, I would say that, which is why I said that it's not difficult for you to build a following, but it's difficult for you to nurture that because it's a long-term gain. It's a long-term strategy. But it starts from that bait. It starts from there, but then you should know how to build upon that, how to nurture that. That is really important. And I would tell you, I used to follow this person on email. Her name is Meera Kothand, if you want to check out her. I used to follow her for her information. She used to send emails every single week. She stopped doing that. She started sending monthly emails. And I didn't stop there. I didn't stop following her. And now she just sends sporadic emails, like she would send this month or maybe she wouldn't send. It's her choice. But when she was consistent, she actually built an in-demand brand through her emails that now she literally has brand ambassadors. This is the impact of this foundational step. I wanted to go a lot deeper into in-demand because, and we are not going to go this much deeper into the other two ones because you would know a lot about these as well. But what I'm saying is that this brand stuff, I think, is so much different. You might have not heard about it, which is why I wanted to go a little deeper into this, which is why we talked a lot about so many things over here. But this is the impact of this foundational step. Do you see how it brings it back to effortless sales? When you've built when you're focused on the long-term strategy, you've built an in-demand brand and people follow you for long-term, not just for your information, right? So just having this one thing also can change a lot in your business. And I want to go a little deep into what all things consist. What all things are included in this in-demand branding. Are you building trust with your audience? Do your audience trust you? Do your audience see you as the go-to authority? And when I talk about authority, we have two things inner and outer authority. And we'll be talking about that tomorrow, going deeper into the authority part and the in-demand branding part. But do your people actually see you as the go-to authority, that you are the best? When it comes to this topic, they just think of you. The next thing is the mindset piece, because it is not about just showing or just pretending to be someone. It is about being that person. It is about knowing that you are that person, because you cannot pretend for a long period of time. You have to be that person. Or just show up as you are, right? Just start from there, show up as you are, and then start building your confidence through that. And we'll be talking about this tomorrow. But mindset piece is really important. And because we are talking about nurturing the long-term relationship, warming up is also a part of this. In-demand brand includes warming up. And I'll give you one easy way to see if you are showing up strong, if you're showing up with that in-demand authority vibe. In-demand authority, in-demand brand. We cannot talk about brand without talking about authority. So I'll give you one example. One easy way to figure out whether or not you're showing up as strong as you should be, in order to show that, yes, like you are owning it, that I am an authority in this, I know this stuff. When you're not showing up like that, this is what will happen to you. And that is, you are getting a lot of pitches in your DMs. Are people getting inside your stories, getting inside your DMs, and they are like, they are just sending you some good welcoming DM, and then the next DM is just direct DM about how long have you been in business for? Are people pitching you like this? Because I will tell you one thing. There are so many things going on in my mind, because I want to talk about this a lot. But I will tell you this. If someone is sending you how long have you been in business for, that person can see that you are showing up weak in your content. They can actually see that you can shift this thing, you can shift that thing. You can tell from a profile whether they are showing up strong or they are showing up weak. When I used to go, when I was very new on Instagram, I used to get these kind of DMs a lot. Like everyone would try to pitch to me. And my content was actually really good. I think I've talked about this before. My content was actually really good. I was building my following really well. I had a very, very engaged and very warmed up following. I didn't have authority. I didn't have that in-demand piece. And I used to get these kind of DMs a lot. How long have you been in business for? Like some way in which they were trying to get to business, get to talk about business, and they would be like trying to pitch to me, right? And that happens because they can see that there's something, like you're missing this piece, you're missing that piece. From the profile itself, they can see that you need to do this. And when someone actually sends this, I would tell you to just run away in the opposite direction from these people, because if someone can see all of these things, but they need to send this type of DM in order to sell, in order to make sales, then they don't know how to do business. Then they don't know how to make sales, and they cannot help you with your business. And I don't know who started this, who gave them this script, because I see so many people, I've seen that so many people send this kind of thing. How long have you been in business for? I don't know who started this thing, who is teaching this thing. I don't teach this. I don't do this as well. But if someone needs to do this thing, they are just following a script. And if they are following a script for their own business and they don't know any other way to make sales, how can they help you? I'm not going to go a lot deeper into this, because we are not talking about other people. We are talking about your business, okay? So tell me if you have seen, if you are getting these kind of messages, and how annoying these feel. send me in the chat below. Okay, the next piece. So we have talked about the in-demand brand and how important this is in order to actually make effortless sales. The second piece, which you might already know, but we are going to go in a little bit different way, talk about it in a little bit different way today, and that is community. The second piece is community. This is your audience, but this is not your audience. And I will tell you why and what is the difference. But community, you cannot sell until you have people in your audience, right? Who would you sell to? You need a community. But there's a difference between community, and the reason why I'm saying community and not audience is because your audience is like the full spectrum of all of your followers. But how many of those are actually listening to you? How many of those are following you closely? How many of those are warm and hot people? Those are your community. These are the people who will eventually buy from you. And I'm not saying that this will happen really soon, or no, we cannot predict that, because I've seen people, and I have been that person as well, when I've been in someone's email ID, like email list. I've been on someone's email list for like 2 years, and then I've bought. But you cannot predict that. But you have been following them. I had been following these people for 2 years very closely, and then I decided to buy. So eventually they will buy. So I'm talking about the community, I'm not talking about the audience. But the things that are included in this is follower growth. Yes, you need to increase your following. But the biggest piece, because follower growth will build your audience, right? How do we make it a community? We build the know and like factors. The trust factors comes inside the in-demand brand, but the know and like factor comes inside the community thing. And we want to build connection. Not just by sharing free value. Connection, know and like, and a connection with your audience. It's not just by sharing free value. Free value, anyone can do that. And right now on Instagram, it's so easy to just take someone's content, make it your own, create your own graphic, and then share that thing. How would you know that you are not creating the information, you are actually creating it from your own knowledge, or that you know that thing? You're actually creating it yourself, that it's yours. How do you know that? You know that by sharing your stories. And I'm saying this, just sharing free information is not going to build authority for you, is not going to build connection with your audience, and you're only going to attract all of the people who are just there for the information, not for the long-term thing. But we want to add, if you want to build connection, if you want to build a community, it's built through, and I can use a lot of the different words, but I'm going to choose this word, it's built through stories. You want to share stories so that they know you, they feel for you, they like you, they know your journey, they resonate with your journey, they feel a deeper connection with you. And because they are there for the long term, they want to support you, they want to follow you, and they adore you. Because they know your story, because they know your journey so well. And you might have seen, I'll give you one of the examples. If you follow Jenna Kutcher, she does this so well. She has talked about her miscarriages. She has talked about so many vulnerable stories of her. That actually attracted so many of the similar people. You talk about your stories, even if those are your past stories, past struggle stories, but that actually attracts the same type of tribe, because they can resonate with you, because they can relate to you, right? And she talked about her miscarriages. Now people were attracted with that, her vulnerability and her story, but now people are looking for her advice, her tips, her breakthroughs, her information, her transformations like her. They are looking out for these things. That is so good, like the best example that I could give you, because she has built such a huge following by talking about her stories, by being vulnerable. So does your audience know your origin story? When you talk about your origin story, how you started, it actually shows them that you are not just curating information from someone else. You're actually showing that this was my struggle story. This is where I fell. This is where I lifted myself up. This is where I learned something new. This is what I did, and now I'm here. Right? Your origin story matters a lot. Does your audience know your origin story? My audience knows that I had another account, and now I've created a new account. But I used to sell over there as well, and that is how I became a sales coach. I used to have sold out launches there, but I was just an Instagram coach over there. Now I'm a sales coach because I've made so many sold out launches, and even on that account, I have had so many times I have just sold with 5 to 7 posts in 5 to 7 days without launching my program, and I've sold. Like, it was kind of like a soft launch, which wasn't meant to be soft launch, but people were sold with just that because I had the right messaging. We have so many things in that, but people know my story. People know that I had another account. If you've been following me for a while, you would know that. So does your audience know your origin story? Have you shared your vulnerabilities? Are you sharing your struggle story? It doesn't make you feel weak. It doesn't show you weak, but you need to be sharing that in a way that this was my past, but it also has to be resonating to your audience. Do people feel a deeper connection with you? Do people feel relatable to your past? Do people feel for you? When you've shared vulnerable stories, people will feel for you because they might be there right now where you have been in the past. And when they can see that you have been there, they can actually see themselves that if you have gone past through that, you might have the solution to get there and you can help me. So they can actually see themselves getting to your place with your help. You just have to share a story, but this will happen psychologically behind the scenes in their own mind. They can actually see themselves using your solution, getting to where you are. So easy to sell, effortless sales, right? And I also want to help you make a note over here that there's a thin line between feeling a deeper connection like a friend and yet feeling respect for an authority. And you need to know how to balance both of these. You need to know how to balance both of these. So the authority piece comes in the first part, in-demand branding. The connection piece comes in the second part, community. So we've talked about two things. The third thing is sales. You cannot have a business without sales. Or you might have a business without sales, but it wouldn't be a profitable one. Right? All of these three pieces are really important and are foundational things for a scalable business. And to make effortless sales, you need to have in-demand brand, community, and sales. And when you keep working on these three things together, when you keep working on these three things for a long term, this builds effortless sales. When you're thinking like, how can I build my brand today? Or what can I say today? What can I post today to build my brand or to build a connection? instead of thinking, how can I make sales in the long term, or how can I do something that will make sales in the long term, instead of just thinking what can I do to make sales today, that will make a huge difference. So inside sales, you need to know how to make sales, you need to know how to pitch, you need to know how to build desire, you need to know how to build urgency and FOMO. All of these things you need to know in order to make sales, in order to have a business that is profitable. So what do we include in this? All of the things that are included in this is messaging. You cannot make sales with messaging, and I will tell you a little bit more about this. There are two pieces in this that might contradict each other, but I'll tell you why one is better than the other. You need to have offers, otherwise what will you sell, right? So offer is one piece. Second piece is messaging. You need to have messaging, but I will tell you that having an irresistible offer is not going to make a lot of sales. Yeah, my offer is very valuable, you should get inside. That is not going to make sales. You might have a shitty offer and you might have a really good messaging for it, and that offer will sell a lot. And you might have an irresistible offer, but the messaging is not so good, you will not make sales. Messaging is what sells, not the offer. So I will say that you need to have offer, but you need to have an irresistible messaging for that offer that builds desire for the offer so that you can make sales. Okay, so first piece is messaging, second offers, obviously, otherwise what would you sell? The third is content strategy. What would you post on feeds? Content strategy is not like, okay, this is just for the Instagram. Content strategy, when you've created it, content strategy is actually based on the messaging. So once you have built messaging, that this is the messaging I'm going to talk about, and then you can create the content strategy, because that content strategy has to be based on your messaging. But you have a content strategy. When you've created a content strategy, you can actually use it for emails, you can actually use it for blog posts, you can actually use it for doing live trainings, you can actually use it for feed posts, you can also use it for Instagram stories. Content strategy is like, this is the content I'm going to share, and then you can share it anywhere you want. And then the main piece, selling, asking for the sale, which actually makes you sales. And I wouldn't say that asking for the sale makes you sell, otherwise everyone would be a millionaire, because people do that a lot, but not everyone makes sales, right? So you need to know how to pitch, how to build desire, how to build urgency and FOMO. All of these are the pieces of it. But I would say that selling on stories is the easiest and the fastest way to make sales. Okay? And also the last piece of this is confidence. You need to have confidence. So you might pitch, your pitch might be really good, but if you just speak in a way that doesn't make people to want to join your offers, it's not going to work. You need to sell with confidence. Confidence is the biggest piece. And confidence becomes really easy when you have nailed your inner authority. So we've talked about the in-demand branding, right? That in-demand branding, the biggest piece of it is inner and outer authority. Inner authority means you actually believe in yourself that you are an authority and you know your shit. That, when you actually believe in that builds up your confidence. But when you're just trying to pretend to be like that, it's not going to work. That is when you are not able to pitch with confidence. That is when you are not able to sell with confidence. You cannot grow a following, you cannot grow a scalable business without sales, community, and in-demand brand. You need all of these three pieces together, tied in together. In-demand branding, sales, and community. And because we are talking about this, let me tell you When you launch, here's why launches work. And this is a question that I got, I think yesterday. Yeah, an anonymous question that I got. And that was, do I have to launch? Do I have to launch in order to make sales? And my answer was no. But here's why launches work. Launches work because it actually solidifies your foundation. Think about it. A launch goes through all of these three pieces, and that is why it works. It builds your authority. Okay, if your content strategy during a launch does not include building authority, you're not going to make a lot of sales. So yes, a launch actually builds your authority. A launch builds connection with your audience. You share your stories, you share why you're the authority, all of those pieces. A launch builds community, a launch builds your in-demand brand, and a launch makes sales. A launch is where we create the offer, we create the offer messaging, we create a content strategy, we share the offer, we sell the offer with confidence. Like a launch, in a launch, we actually go through all of these three pieces in a short period of time, which is why launches work. And if you can do all of these three pieces all the time, what if you are working on this foundation all the time? It's like you're launching all the time, but without pressure. You don't feel the pressure. And someone also asked me this another question. It's funny how this is going, right? Someone also asked me this question. How do you launch so much? This was again an anonymous question, so I don't know who asked this. If you're here, just comment. But even if you're watching the replay, just comment that you were here. You were that person. But how do you launch so much? And my answer was, I just do the things that I do every day. Because I don't put pressure on myself. I don't put pressure on myself during a launch, because in a launch, like I would tell you that batch creating doesn't work for me. When I batch create, it just doesn't work for me. So what I do is that I just do the same steps that I do when I'm not launching as well. I would do the same things during a launch as well, which is why I don't ever feel that I'm launching, which is why it works for me. Like it doesn't put pressure on me. I would tell you, and this is embarrassing, but I created this training. I have been selling this training, and I would say even if this is free, you have to sell your free stuff. You have to sell your free stuff. I just say this, okay? But I have been selling this training for a long time. I had every single thing in my mind that this is what I'm going to include and this is what I'm going to talk about, but I hadn't put it on paper. I just did this 2 hours back. And this is what I do with my live trainings. I don't do a lot of live trainings, but I try to do at least weekly live trainings either on Instagram or on my Facebook group. But I do this with those live trainings as well. I do go live when I'm not launching as well. I do go live when I'm launching as well. There's no difference. There's no difference. And even though I'm opening doors for TCA, the Clients Accelerator, tomorrow, but I'm not putting pressure on myself. I'm not putting so much pressure that this one offer has to be the one, like this one offer has to bring all of the sales. I'm here for the long game. And I will tell you what all things I do, whether I'm launching or not launching. And I'm talking about my tasks, but I will also share in just a few moments, I would also share how you can tweak these to your business. These are the only needle moving tasks you need to do for your business to make sales. Okay, so daily what I do is I post to attract and nurture. And when I say daily, it's just Monday to Friday. I don't work on weekends unless I have something coming up. Okay, but Monday to Friday, post to attract and nurture my community. Sell every single day, sell to make sales. Either it's free thing or if it's a paid thing, because I think since 15 days, I haven't sold anything paid, but I have sold just this masterclass. So, sell to make sales, obviously. Engagement to build community. So, we've gone through at least 2 parts of this. Email, you need to have another platform because we don't want to put all of our eggs in just one basket. So, we've gone through 4 things. Post, stories, I sell on stories. So, selling goes on stories. So, post, sell on stories, engagement to build the community, and email, so that all of my eggs are just not in one basket. That is it. And then weekly, I do live trainings to warm up. And every single thing, you can see that we have 2 pieces, the sales and the community over here, but there's no in-demand brand because you cannot reverse engineer this. This is not a task that you do. This is something that you believe in within and you show up as that. This happens in every single thing that you do. All of these 4 tasks that we discussed, you actually put all of these things inside that. You show up with authority when you sell. You create content, so post to attract and nurture, but you create content that actually builds your authority. You engage, or when you are talking to someone inside the DMs, you talk with authority. Like, this is inbuilt. This is why it happens in such small things that you cannot reverse engineer in demand branding, which is why this is one of the topics that I want to go really in depth tomorrow. But I will say that all of these 4 tasks that we discussed, and also the weekly live trainings, but you can see that all of these 4 things, nothing else that I do, all of these 4 things I do either when I'm launching, or when I'm not launching. So it doesn't make a difference, which is why it's very easy for me to launch so much that I do. But when you're doing all of these 4 things, you need to have a strategy and alignment behind these, which is what we go so much deeper inside TCA. But I will tell you how to make this inside for yourself. So the 4 needle moving tasks: post, story, engage, and email. Right? I do all 4 of these. I can do this in 3 hours and then I'm free for the day. But unless I'm doing a live training and unless I have calls, which is another part. But the daily things, that only takes me 3 hours. But what I'm saying is that if you're showing up on Instagram, or if you're showing up on Facebook or any other social media or any other platform, any platform at all, right? Think of one piece of content that you can create that stays there for longer life, which means, for example, I wouldn't put this on stories. I would actually put this on feed posts. I would actually put this in emails, or I would put this in a blog post or a podcast or YouTube. So one piece to attract and nurture. The second one is sell somewhere. Sell anywhere, but sell every single day. Sell somewhere. This is so easy for me to show up on stories and sell because it comes naturally to me, or it has become natural after I have done this so many times. So it has become easy for me now. But this is one of the platforms that I have chosen. For you, it might be emails, or you can choose every single day, where am I going to sell? Maybe you sell within one of your calls. If you're doing a group coaching program, let's say you are selling it over there. You've done selling for that day. You don't have to sell anymore. Maybe you're doing a masterclass, you sell over there. Maybe, and this, I'm not saying sell means you're just selling a paid offer. Selling also means you can be selling a free offer as well that might be coming up. Right? So sell somewhere. So pick a platform for selling, or just choose every single day from a few platforms that you would be selling here. The third is engagement. This is to build community. So think about, how can you build community? What step can you do every single day to build your community? And the fourth one is, what other platform can you choose which you can own? Maybe I've chosen email because email is where this is a place that I cannot lose. I cannot lose the email IDs. I cannot lose people over there. Instagram I cannot own, which is why I don't trust Instagram so much that this will bring like this is the end all be all, right? What other platform can you choose? So I would have you choose things like blog posts, like website, email, podcast, YouTube. Should we include YouTube? I don't think so, because you cannot own YouTube. YouTube owns it. Google owns it, right? So I would have you choose a platform that you own. Okay, email, website, podcast. Okay. But the thing is, all of these 4 things, one of these is to attract the people, one of these to nurture, one of these to make sales, and one of these to make sure that we have another platform where other people are also there, and weekly do live trainings or do some kind of training where people are getting a lot of more information than you are giving on just one platform, right? So this is enough to go through all of these things, but we haven't talked about the in-demand brand, which is why I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. But you need to have strategy and alignment in all of these. You can't just post. You cannot just post every single day and you'd be like, yes, I'm going to make sales. Like, if you're doing all of these 4 things without a strategy behind that, it's not going to work. That's what I'm trying to say, which is what we do inside TCA, which is what, like, I will show you how to get in strategy and alignment with all of these pieces inside TCA. And I have an announcement. I'm not opening doors today. I'm opening the doors tomorrow, which is what I'm very excited about. But I have some news to announce. There's a big news about TCA that's coming up. I don't know if I should even share it today, but I cannot hold it. So up until now, so I will tell you a little bit about TCA. TCA is a hybrid program. So you get access to my 9-module course along with one-on-one to me for 3 months, but you get lifetime access to the course. So for 3 months, you can have one-on-one calls with me. Okay, that is the main program. So it's hybrid. You also get access to 9-module course with 40+ hours of video lessons. And you also get access to me one-on-one, along with you also get messaging access to me that you can use Monday to Friday, 24/5, right? But up until now, inside the course content, we had a lot of trainings about how to build following, how to nurture your community. We also have a strategy that I call charge pool that nurtures and makes sales all together, nurtures and also makes sales. We have DM strategies for that, DM scripts for that, content strategy, how to create a content strategy, how to show up on stories, ideal client clarity, messaging, how to create program messaging, offer messaging. We have all of that inside TCA. But when I created TCA, I didn't know that this is going to be a launch program. But with the clients that I'm having, and it's been so long since I launched TCA for the first time, with all of the clients that I'm having, I've noticed that every single person is coming to me and saying, I want to sell this offer. And which is why it has become a launch program eventually. So what has happened is that we have all of these pieces on the course platform, and you can get all of this information from the courses. But in terms of your launch strategy, we were doing that together. I was teaching you that this is what you're going to do, and we are also planning every single thing inside TCA, inside our one-on-one calls, planning your launch plan, and I'm teaching you what to do, like exact small things, like you need to do this, you would post this on the first story, very simple things, small things, which is, I think, which will save a lot of time if I had another module or another full-blown course along with TCA that is included inside TCA that is all about launching. So that is the announcement. I am going to add a full-blown launch course inside TCA. when you join now. So you'd get access to it for free. Obviously, it's going to be included with the TCA, but this is the announcement. Like, I'm so excited about this because this is going to save a lot of our time one-on-one, where I don't have to teach you small things like make this tweak, or you should be saying this like this, or like this is the piece, this piece should be shared first and this piece should be shared second. Like, there are so many things. This is how you sell on stories, or this is how you speak. Very small things like the launch plan. We do what we do inside TCA is that the reason why people inside TCA get a lot of sold out launches and all of those is because we actually create your program messaging together. This is the missing piece. I would say that this is the missing piece, and also the authority part, but this is the missing piece. Even if you're showing with authority, but you're not making sales, you have an offer also, but you don't know how to share that offer with your audience. This is why it's not only that the program messaging is taught to you inside the course, but we also have a scheduled call where we just talk about the offer messaging. We make your messaging strong, we make your messaging desirable. And then when you go out to sell with that messaging, then we also have another call where we actually use that messaging inside your content, where to put what, all of those things. So it's very personalized, which is why when I talk about TC, I say that it's a personalized, we personalize your sales strategy, we personalize your content, we personalize your offer messaging so that you can have a sold out launch. It's a perfect way in which I can describe what TCA is, because this makes a huge difference in just trying to launch it yourself. You might have already tried it, but it doesn't work because you don't know how to have a perfect messaging. I wouldn't say that it's perfect, but I would say that messaging that builds desire for your offer, right? So this is why it works. This is why one of my clients inside TCA had a $3,000 month, which she had for so long. She had that income goal for so long. She reached that after joining TCA. Another one of my clients reached $4,200. She didn't even had that goal, but she reached there and she was so excited for it. So many people are actually having sold out launches. So many other people are having, literally, they have sold out, and then people are like, I want to get inside. How can I be? And my clients are like, the doors are closed, but if you want to join, they put a double price and people are still getting it at double price. People are still buying because at a higher price, because you have an in-demand brand, because you have the messaging, because you have all of these pieces that we have talked about today. But what I want to say is that this was the announcement. We are opening doors for TCA tomorrow, and I'm so excited for it. But this is amazing. This is a next level thing. And I know that this is going to be so much better now, even more, because without this launch course that I'm going to add now, without this launch course, if people are getting these kind of results, I can be assured that people are going to even better results when they have every single piece together, when they know that this is how to show up on stories, when they know that this is what they need to do in pre-launch and this is what they need to do in pre-launch. All of the things, it's going to be insane. This is going to be so next level when this course is going to be included. So this was my announcement. I'm so excited. We are opening doors tomorrow, and you might get an early bird pricing because you joined this masterclass. Now, I want to remind you that if you take a photo of watching this training and share your biggest takeaway and tag me, you'll be entered for the giveaway. There are two prizes. One is $100 credit towards any one of my programs, and the second one is $50 credit towards any one of my programs. Tell me how has been your experience with this. I want to know about all of the things, and I'm so excited to share this. I am so excited to see what all of these things bring into your world, what result this brings. That is it that I wanted to share today with you. Thank you so much for showing up. I am so grateful to you. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow at this same time.